What's up, guys? MMA Professor here to do quick Strikeforce Diaz vs. Cyborg predictions. Yeah, late again, I know. First fight, Scott Carson against Herschel Walker. I mean, there's really not a lot to break down in this fight. Carson, he's 40 years old, had like a 10-year layoff from MMA. Was it 10 years? And about 9 years. And against Herschel Walker, who's 48 years old, who looks freaking ridiculous, by the way. Just insane. For 48, he looks in insane shape. He's a professional athlete, one of the best athletes ever to compete in anything. I mean, you could just tell by the guy, like, he's dedicated to whatever he does. He didn't look great against, I mean, it was his first professional fight. You go Herschel Walker decision, maybe a TKO. There's so many X factors in that one that you could use. Like, his chin has never been tested. How good really is Scott Carson? But we'll go with Herschel Walker on that. You got to figure that Strikeforce wouldn't give him a fight that he can't win. It's a big deal for them to, have a sports celebrity, fighting. Don't make too big a deal out of it. It is what it is. It's not like their undercard fights are good enough to be on the main card anyways. So, okay, here's an interesting one. Roger Gracie against Trevor Prangley. If you read interviews with Roger Gracie, he really seems mentally... A lot of Gracies get caught up in, I'm a Gracie, I need to do this, but Roger seems to take his training seriously. I mean, he's trained with GSP with his striking, he's trained with a lot of professional boxers, but he's realistic about where he stands in MMA. I mean, he's not going to outstrike you. He knows he needs to use the tools that he has at his disposal. And he's a very good game planner. I mean, when you talk about, like, how good he was, like, in sports jiu-jitsu, like, one of the top sports jiu-jitsu player ever. And how he explained it was exploiting people. He saw that the best BJJ players in the world had good guards. You couldn't sweep them when they were on top, but from mount, they weren't that strong, and that's what he worked on. I mean, he finished mount against from mount a bunch of times, and, you got to figure he's going to take that technical savvy and exploiting people's weaknesses, and Trevor Prangley is a big test for him. It really is. Prangley's not the biggest 205er, but he is strong enough with his wrestling base. Very good wrestler, and very experienced, and has pretty decent power in his hands. I'm going to go with Roger Gracie in this one. I think he's going to keep Prangley at bay with his jab, avoid the right hand, circle the right direction, use his striking. I expect his striking to be, even a little better than it was against Randleman. And I expect Prangley to make a mistake a lot in the fight. Prangley's slowing down with age. I mean, he's not making... Thanks for unpausing. What in the blue hell? Stop unpausing. Okay, there we go. I'll just turn off the TV. So, Roger Gracie, late first, early second round, submission, probably a rear naked choke. If he makes, a very substantial mistake, if he, shoots for a takedown from the clinch, I expect Roger to be able to shoot off the takedowns too. Prangley's very good from the clinch, but it's not like he shoots a power double leg from, whatever. It's not like he has the speed or explosiveness to do that. He's just from a clinch position. I don't expect Roger to let him get inside. I talked way too much. Roger Gracie submission. One of the only guys who can, you can realistically say isn't, Hojer isn't the best BJJ player in competition jiu-jitsu ever is because this guy exists. Jacare Souza against Robbie Lawler for the 185-pound title. The thing about Souza, too, with him coming into MMA is that his takedowns are very, very good for a BJJ guy. He's very good at top control. He likes chokes. His grip strength is insane. He's quick, and his boxing looked fairly good. I mean, really, the only thing that you can say is possibly a flaw with him is his chin. He has been knocked out a couple times, once by an up kick, once in one of his first fights in MMA. He got KO'd with a punch, and Robbie Lawler is the guy that can do that. The thing about Lawler is he's susceptible to submissions on the ground, and really, that alone, I'm going to pick Jacare by submission in the third round. I think Lawler's very good. He's very good, underrated takedown defense. So I expect him to keep this on the feet. He's not going to be... I'm not going to say he's going to be tentative, but he's not going to do what he did against Linlin, who he didn't really care. I mean, he didn't, respect Linlin's punching power, so he just waited forward with huge power punches. I expect him to be a little more cautious than that. But I expect, Jacare to use a good jab, circle around, and just do what he does until he can get a takedown or possibly jump guard and submit Lawler with possibly a guillotine or anaconda, somewhere around there. So that's my pick. I wouldn't be surprised if Lawler could land a huge shot, but you can always say that with Lawler. So I'm going to pick Jacare by third round submission. Title fight, Nick Diaz, Cyborg Santos. You watch the video on ShareDog of Cyborg preparing for the fight and everybody talking. He's got so much power and he's so athletic, and his training ability is second to none, and he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. And you look at him on paper, he should be a very good fighter. As it stands, he's close to 500. Why? He may be one of those guys that is just ridiculous in the gym and can't put it together. I don't think mentally he has the makeup to be one of the best fighters on the planet, and Nick Diaz does. Cyborg has huge punching power, and, he could give Diaz problems by circling, using leg kicks, when he wants to get in close, trying to bully him around, use power, knees to the body, and trying to, make Diaz quit. Keep this on the feet as long as I know he's a black belt. He just never, he's only been submitted once, and his problem has been his chin. When Diaz is not, a huge power puncher, but the volume that he throws and the awkwardness of which he throws it throws a lot of people off. His cardio, I know he's like, he's an animal in the gym and he does all this cardio, but he's not going to out-cardio Nick Diaz. So, a 5-round fight for the welterweight title, I think he needs to do as much damage with as little shots as possible, which Cyborg thrives on that kind of fight, but I don't think Diaz is going to play that. I think he's going to use his jab fairly well. I think he's going to use body punches fairly well, and I think he's going to wear on Santos, and eventually in the third round, like Diaz always does, knocks him down, but I think he's going to submit him after he knocks him down. If he doesn't finish him with punches, maybe from the mount. That's what I'm going to pick. Third round, TKO, punches from the mount, Nick Diaz to retain the welterweight belt. Those are my picks. You guys, stay metal. Later.